Hi, welcome to Notions and Illuminations. This is a new series that I'm doing, and I'm really excited about it. I did a free energy session today from 12 to it actually just ended because I lost track. So I apologize. I apologize for being late. I will do my due diligence to do 12:30. Just when I get into the meditation energy and the shift, it is so beautiful, and I need it so badly. So I just love to do that. You can go ahead and sign up on the website for that. Today it ran a little bit longer than it normally will. It won't run that long anymore. So if you found yourself kind of out for a second, right? That's why. Okay. So it's every Monday at 12 p.m. All right. Every Monday at 12 p.m. You can just find a relaxing space. If you don't get a ticket, all right, for that, then you will not be included in the energy. But if you get a ticket, then you get put in there, and it's amazing. And I had one person sign up for it. So I want to touch base with them and ask them what their experience was. But it was very profound for me, and it lasted longer, like I said, than it will. So it's usually a 20-minute cycle and then like a 10-minute sort of comeback. All right. Okay. And you don't have to do anything other than get the ticket and find a quiet place free from distraction. And so it works out really good. Hi, Veronica. How are you today? Good to good to good to talk to you in the chat. So today, what I thought I wanted to do was maybe do a rune pull for like the collective, and I want to talk about some of the upcoming changes that we have here at Body Studios. So one of the things is that we have this cool interactive experience. Well, we have a couple of them coming up. We have two. We have one this month and one next month. This month is going to be the I want to call it the rabbit hole, but it's the Mad Hatter Tea Party. That's going to be a lot of fun. It'll have like an actual tea party, but the tea party is going to be based on the Mad Hatter Tea Party. So that'll be a lot of fun. There's going to be 6 individual readers, 6, and we'll be scooted from place to place. And in your ticket, it includes 3 individual readings in a group setting. So the groups will be like maybe 4 or 5 people during a 30-minute bracket. And so you'll be in a 30-minute reading that will include you, but like it'll all be unfolding for you that way. Each of us is doing a different experience. So I'm going to be the caterpillar, Absalom, and I'm going to gift everybody something in the reading, and then I'll probably do something that I'm not going to tell you about anyway. Valerie is our production manager, and this is her gig. So it's Yamada Productions, which is really cool. And there's Ashley Bradley. Ashley Bradley is going to be Alice. Valerie Ortega Yamada is going to play the White Rabbit. I will play Absalom the Caterpillar. Manuel is going to play the Mad Hatter. Oh my gosh, and it's so good. And then we have Lanisha, who is going to be the flowers. All right. And then we have Dawn, who's going to be the Red Queen. And you get to choose three of us, not just one. You get to choose 3 different aspects. So for an hour and a half, you'll be in a private, semi-private session with us, okay? And it'll be different readings, different styles of readings, because we're all coming up with a different way to do that. Then we're all going to gather in the big room, and you'll get little things in there, okay? It's going to be a lot of fun. It's totally interactive, very immersive. We invite anybody who's coming to this particular event to dress in cosplay, however you feel, that matches the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. All right, because that's our focus. It could be Alice in Wonderland. That's fine. Come as Alice. Anybody that we are portraying, you're more than welcome to come as well. And then that's this month. Okay, and that's going to be on the 23rd. It's a Friday night. It's late at night, so it's 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. And then we have in September, we have our big quarterly party. And that quarterly party is a $250 ticket, but I'll tell you that it's worth it. So worth it. We have somebody here who's going to provide music. We've asked somebody to come to provide music. And then we have different interactive experiences in this, okay? And lots of gifts. So we have a lot of gifts to give to people for that ticket price, which is really good. That'll future benefit you in the 3 months in between the party. We're going to celebrate birthdays, all right? We will have special mocktails and cocktails that will be provided. The one in September is like a VIP aspect. And what we would like is for you to dress in cocktail attire, okay? And it's going to be a really beautiful experience. We're going to have something that we haven't done before. It'll be 4 5 people that'll be there to be able to do like mini readings during our mix and mingle aspect. And so you'll be able to ask us questions, and we'll have some things with us so that we'll be able to give you the answers that you want or need. And then we're going to have like a special experience that won't be divulged, but we'll have a special experience together that we don't normally host here at Body Studios, something that is very exclusive to this party. All right. So it's not something that you could go next month or you could go here. It's not going to be like that. This one is going to be like, oh my God, you believe that we did that? That's how it's going to be. So that would be a lot of fun. Okay, so enough of that. Today, like I went yesterday and I was at Black Cat Studios in Downey, and I was with a group of women that were phenomenal. They're just phenomenal. I really appreciate them for all that they are and everything that they provided yesterday. But it was such a beautiful experience. And I had somebody that I haven't necessarily seen in a long time come and visit me over there. And then I was able to help them engage with another practitioner after they saw me, and they were able to complete like the work that I wanted them to do in that period of time. And that was amazing for me to see how we can work together like that, because I have some answers and I have some techniques, and you're not necessarily going to want all of them. So working with many people for your health and welfare is what you want to do. Working with just one way is not the way, right? The way is you and your way. So some of the other things that we're doing here at the Magical Body Studios is we have installed some free offerings. The first Monday of the month is going to be Health Talks. Next month in August, we have Dr. Tara coming to share what it is that she does, but also talk about like health in general, right? And the thyroid. That's what we would like for her to talk about. So she's going to do a free talk on that. And then, and then on the 2nd, so tonight, all right, we have our book club. That's with Lanisha. And then on the 3rd Monday, we have collaborative networking. And in that, like if you have something that you're kind of stuck on in your projecting, and you're a spiritually based business and you want other people who get you to like look at it for you and give you feedback, that's what this is all about. The collaborative networking is if you have an ongoing project, or if you would like to come in and give feedback, all right? Or if you want to meet other like-minded people who are spiritual and in business, this is a great networking event to do that. And what we're doing is we're offering collaboration feedback. So it would be a way for you to like get a project looked at before you like open it, or, you know, just different things like that. So for me, I have something that I'm going to bring to the table next week, and I'm going to ask for feedback. And it is a new program that I'm starting. And this program is going to be fee-based on a monthly aspect, right? And then you'll get a certain amount of time with me for that month. And I'm only going to have so many slots available. And then it will be ongoing. And it will be a very selective sort of interviewed participation, right? And so I'm looking forward to that. And then we have several Patreon tiers that you can move into now, where you can get like a free reading and you can get different experiences and services. There is a psychic development course that I am starting online, and that will be included in the Patreon series and stuff. And so and then a meditation that I'm doing online. So there's like a lot of things that are unfolding right here in Body Studios, and I'm really excited about that. This show in particular is to allow me to showcase what I receive from like the world in general as far as consciousness goes, right? And I'm kind of tippy-toeing a little bit because nothing is hard, as nothing is set in stone. Okay, everything is malleable, everything can change. So if you're experiencing the world as it is right now and you're in a very secular position toward it, that means you're very involved in the machinations of how the world is working. Like you're worried about how the vote's going to go, you're worried about your money coming in, you're worried about how you're going to make money, you're worried about how much everything is costing. You're very involved in what the world is trying to produce in conditioning. When you're that involved, right? And it's hard not to be, because in order to be sustainable, you have to be involved somewhat in some of those arenas. The idea is to look for what you want out of that. And we immediately think, wow, well, I just want money. I want money. Money's going to solve my problem, because if I have enough money, then that's going to make me feel better. And that is not a truth. That's not a truth. You're telling yourself that that is when you will allow yourself to pull in that feeling of happy, is when you have something out external. And it isn't something that it's just not a truth. You're inventing it. And that's what we do. We invent a lot of things through a story that we live. We live that story because we tell ourselves that story in a loop over and over and over again. I don't know how I'm going to pay this. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't know how this is going to come in. I don't know what about this. And you're right. We don't know. We absolutely don't know. If we have a paycheck that we get, right, and it is it's something that we get, and it's like a regular amount, right? And we're used to getting that. Okay. If it adjusts in any way, it's going to throw us off because we've committed those funds outside or externally to ourselves. Okay. We're committing the funds externally and then to ourselves, because that's what it is. The reason that you pay for things is so that you can have something. All right. So understanding that your energetic exchange, your physical exchange is actually producing what you're asking for. Okay. So moving back into that understanding, right? So this morning, it was really good for me to do like that 12 p.m. Free adjustment, right? And it allowed me to get out of a loop that I had developed about maybe wanting something to be a certain way or showing up a certain way. Hey, Angie, how was that? That was really good, huh? I'm sorry it went a little bit longer. Next time it'll only be the 20 minutes, but I think that it'll be really good. Okay. Excellent reset. So when I did that, it was like, I was like, oh, okay. So I can let go of that focus that I have, that's telling me a story, that allows me to, that's cultivating a way to feel, about like who I am, how I'm showing up. And if I'm in that story and that story is limiting in any way, if it tells me that I'm not enough in the situation and I need more. Okay. Hi, Elsa. If it tells me that I need more because I'm lacking, right? That is an invented story. It's invented. It is a perception that you are telling yourself. I'm going to go really slow so we all get it. I'm laughing because they're like, tell it slowly. All right. So let's say you have a bill that's outstanding. Okay. And it's one that weighs heavy on you because it's like, it's more than like what you really want at this particular point in time. But you have that bill nonetheless. You have it. You're going to pay it because maybe you're forthright and ethical, and maybe this is like your practice, and maybe you like to do things on time. Maybe you'd like to be able to meet those bills, and it's like a little competition or a game for you. Okay, no problem. The thing is that we'll do crazy things to make that happen. We will do just crazy things to make that happen. What we might do is we might go and get a loan so that way we could pay this loan off. That's not intelligent. That's not helping you. That won't help you. It will put you back into the same circumstance. You might have a lower rate, which would be better. So that's how you would want to measure it. You'd want to measure whether or not it's beneficial to you to put yourself back into debt in that way. How do you feel when you do that? Now you're mofoing something else because you've created something else to get yourself out of something else, but you're still in that same rabbit hole. You're still in the same rabbit hole of lack. Okay? It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's your mindset. Your mindset is keeping you in lack. And you will tell yourself, like, I'm working so hard, I'm doing so much, and I don't have anything to show for it. I don't have enough. And then maybe you'll start asking the universe as you open, right? I just need. Okay? Those are phrases that we use when we don't catch ourselves. I only need this much. I just need enough for. That's super limiting. I want you to really feel and internalize like what that feels like. Okay? It limits the amount of avenues that the energy can reach you. And money is currency. It's a flow. It's a flow state. And if the flow state can't be met because you have a story that blocks it, right? It's going to have to flow around that and get to you in a different way. And it's going to be very limited. It'll be like going through a sieve, right? Going through something that strains it. And while it can perfect it, it will take more effort in order for it to get there because you're figuring it out. You're saying that this is how it has to work. So that's the only way that it can be delivered to you. So maybe when you're in a space where you would like for things to come to you, right? No matter what it is. Let's say you want ease, just ease, because that's like really what I want when I'm asking for money. I want ease in my circumstance. I want ease and comfort and grace. I want a lot of grace, because I know that everything is good. It's going to be okay. If I don't think it's okay right now, it will be okay in a minute because I will let it. So I understand that in a cognitive way, yet my emotions are charged in a different way. So my emotions and my thoughts get disconnected. When they get disconnected, I can't properly call things to me because I'm of two minds. All right. When I'm of two minds, my sensory awareness becomes very visceral and physical. So I'm looking externally more than internally and not using my intuition in a better way. Okay. I'm hunting externally for things to do so that I can receive. That's a lot of effort. That is a shit ton of effort. So rather than going in that pattern that I'm in often, right? Because this is a pattern that I created through years, decades of conditioning. So unwinding that conditioning to understand that if I sit still, it will come anyway. It will show up, right? Okay, my level of comfort doesn't feel, it's not there. My level of comfort sitting still, nah, I'm good. I know that if I sit still, I don't get shit. That is a mindset. That's a mindset. That's a story. And it's not a truth. Because there's plenty of times when you've just been sitting somewhere or daydreaming somewhere into a really nice space and stuff just shows up right in that moment. Yes, we need to put ourselves in those positions. Do we have to figure out what to build for the house before we get the house? Not necessarily, but we need to maybe go look for a house, right? If that's what we would like. So, depending on where we're at with that, it is investigative, right? First. And you're looking for evidence that you can receive. That's what you're looking for. So, putting yourself into disharmony where you're in one mind that says you have to do, and a feeling of knowing that you have to sit still is a separation of yourself. Okay. And it causes you to look in the gap for why, because you want to reason it out. You want to reason why I'm this way. How come this is happening? What about this? Mostly what it is the story that you're telling. The words that we use, to ourselves, of ourselves, can be super enlightening and enchanting and edifying and and sometimes they can be really detrimental, like just derogatory things. If we can remind ourselves that every word, every single solitary word that is spoken, whether it is expressed in an external manner or an internal manner, you yourself hear it. And your cells and body, mind, spirit, your energy all respond to that vocabulary, to that conversation. If you have things that are internal that you don't want to look at, you will resort to old coping skills that took you to a place you never wanted to be in the first place, because those worked for a long time before you got to that place. So be mindful of what you're using to process that internal hiccup, right? The internal hiccup is you. That's it. It's you coming into an understanding that you're okay, that you showed up with the best that you had in that moment for whatever it is that you're processing, no matter what it is. It isn't about the other person. It's not about the other person. The other person may have treated you unfairly. The other person may have caused you bodily harm, trauma, done unspeakable things to you. Okay? But this is not about them. This is about you. When we go through traumatic circumstances, transfers of energy happen. If we're molested, if we are raped, if we are taken advantage of sexually, then every sexual occurrence that we have, we are open to receive similar demons that were transferred to us from the demons that came from the perpetrator. And we have our own demons, our own set of demons that we wrestle with. Demons is an interesting term, all right? And it comes from a very religious aspect, right? But what it is it is our capabilities. Our capabilities. We are capable of killing another human being. We are capable of creating harm on another human being. If you are saying to yourself right now, I would never do that, then you still have a lot of internal work to do. Because if it came down to you or the other individual, you most likely would choose you. You wouldn't just say, yeah, you should just kill me because you're so much better. That's not our internal aspect. Our internal aspect is like, what? Oh no, I'm going to breathe. I don't know about you, but if you're bent on trying to kill me, then I'm going to do things that I want to survive in, right? Whether you're able to survive something like that is up to you. And it seems so pompous to say that, but I have such knowing in that and what's taken place in my life. Okay? Many things have been done to me, right? Have I been the one to put myself in those situations? Most of them, yes. Some of them, no. No, hell no. Are they things that I would love to repeat? No, nope, not yet. Nope, haven't gotten to that point where I've processed enough to where, like, it might be a good idea to do something detrimental to myself again by putting myself in those harm's way sort of places, right? No, it's behavior, my vibe. It's going to bring about that magnetic quality of where I'm at, right? And using the term demons is an easy analogy, right? It's your inner machinations that you don't like so well, right? If you're capable of being nice, you're also capable of being mean, all right? If you're capable of love, you're also capable of hate, all right? If you're capable of depression, you're capable of expression, okay? There's lots of things that we wrestle with constantly, and it is our duality. It's simply our duality. Our behavior is based in how we think and feel. And when we can connect how we feel and think, it makes it easier for us to do life, just be in life. So I think that maybe what we could do today is a little bit of I see the surrender word spelled out right there so eloquently. Surrender is a huge part of everyday life for everyone, and we don't realize that. We think that oh, I've accomplished something, that's why I feel this way. No, you've surrendered to allow it. We don't really want to hear how powerless we are in the situations that we think we're in charge of, right? But we're super powerless the more that we fight and want control of it, because that's an illusion. So mostly what we're doing is we're using common sense to apply to our everyday life. What would be the most likely thing you would do in such and such experience? Allowing yourself to breathe in between, like, I don't know, I haven't come across this experience before, not in this way. So maybe I'll just see what shows up for a minute. That's surrendering to your will. You're surrendering to your ego, and you're telling your ego that it doesn't have to action right now. And that takes you out of the game. It allows you of your efforted self, right? Where you think you have to do something right off the bat. It takes you out of that. That's what the surrender is. The surrender is understanding that you're enough in the situation. Asking yourself simple questions like, does that require a response when somebody talks to you? Being polite is great, right? Really being you is better. Really being you is better, because then you'll have better conversations all the way around. I'm not talking about being direct. I'm talking about being you. If you're kind and loving and this is who you want to be, then stay in that energy. Allow that energy to flow through you when you're in communication. That's what it is. You're surrendering to the energy you want to vibe. Everybody's like this right now. You're surrendering to the energy you want to vibe. So when we're holding on to things that we're working on, and the old coping mechanisms, maybe some of the old coping mechanisms are having sex with random people because that makes me feel like I'm loved, and then that way I don't have to judge myself because I'm not going to see them again. Oh, did they think I'm too this, or they think I'm that, or whatever? I don't have to worry about that. Now I'm in control. It's just my body. I'm not harming anybody, but I'm also not looking internally as to why I'm using that coping mechanism. Why am I using that coping mechanism, right? I'm using the coping mechanism because it brought me peace and serenity at one time, and it was a way that I was doing life. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It means that's how I cope. One method of how I cope. I use sex. That's it. All right. One method. Maybe I'll go shopping. Yeah, boy. I had some debt occurrence because I know how to retail. All right. So yeah, that's another way that I cope. Eating. Ooh, my Taurian energy is just so lovely. And I enjoy really good food. Really good food. Yet, when I'm coping, when I'm coping and I'm doing an internal process, I go to my Cheez-Its. Like, what is that? I could use carrot sticks. I could do celery. I could do cucumbers. I could do tomatoes. I could do a lot of things. Yet, that brings me satisfaction while I'm processing. So I eat Cheez Its. Okay. I surrender to understand who I am. Can I go and just like spend a whole bunch of money till I feel better? No, I couldn't spend enough money until I feel better. Do you understand? I just couldn't. There isn't enough money to make me feel any kind of way. Let that sink in. There just isn't. Money is currency, it's not a vibe. Currency, it's a flow state. That flow state, if you can find it, is a vibe. All right? Ooh, this is 101 right now, okay? Got it? So, if you have a story of lack of any kind, it's going to cause you to have separation from thought and feeling. And the idea is to get into that state of heart map, right? You can look that up on YouTube and you can do like their exercises. And what it is it is inviting a feeling of a vibration into your sensory awareness, into your visceral nervous system, so that you can feel it deeply and think about it at the same time. Gratitude works well, beauty works well, love works well. There's different vibrations that you can invite in, right? Calm is an experiential, so it's outside. So satisfaction is what you would want for internal. Oh, see? When you ask for satisfaction, your energy gets curious as to know, where am I? What am I thinking about? And then it starts to come back to you because you're asking for your energy to be present with you. When you ask your energy to be present with you, you feel, okay, I can be me right now. I can be me right now. Just give me a couple of minutes. Let me adjust to all this me that I have going on. All right, all this me. No problem. All right. Okay. Cool. So I had difficulty at first when I wanted to change my lifestyle because I had so much conditioning as to the lifestyle I had created. The created lifestyle left me on the street, and doing like a lot of nefarious acts so that way I can maintain that lifestyle on the street, which is crazy. But at one point I was sitting in a bush and I had an apparatus with me and I had nothing in the apparatus and the lighter wasn't working. And I looked around, and this is how detached my psyche was from reality, this reality. All right. This is how far out there you can get, right? I thought to myself, I go, this isn't so bad. What the fuck? What the fuck? Adjusting to less than because of my self-worth issues. Thinking that's all I could have because that's all I was experiencing. To look back and see myself in that bush just outside where you could rent a tent for $20 to sleep and have a shower, right? Just the insanity of staying in that loop to make it okay. That's how detached from thought and emotion the disconnect is. All right? That's why it's important to practice getting into your body, to really get into your body, right? Dancing is a great form. So now I dance. When I'm stressed, I dance. I don't go to the store and buy dollar items so that way I feel okay. I can if I want, but that doesn't bring me the pleasure that it used to, right? Dancing does. Dancing's very physical for me. So I do a lot of dancing. I do dancing because then I can dance all by myself. I don't have to rely on other people to be present for me. And it allows me to, and I do about 10 minutes when I do it, because 10 minutes is like a good segue to move from one body of energy, feeling, and focus into another body of energy, feeling, and focus. And understanding that that's your intention allows that to take place. I say sitting still. Sitting still is not overrated. You could sit still with your eyes open in a place for 5 minutes and just notice your thoughts. Just notice what comes up and bless your thoughts and bless you as they come up. Just go, oh, wow, I can see I'm having a rough day with that. I'm feeling you guys so much, right? So I'm having a rough day with that. And you just acknowledge when you recognize that wave, okay, of information, and you articulate it into a circumstance, it becomes very tangible. Even in an energetic quantum field, very tangible. It becomes a something. All right. In that something, you can say, well, do I want to feel this anymore? Can I transmute it into a different feeling? What am I willing to feel besides this? Right? What am I willing to feel besides this? Do I need to know more about this feeling? Do I really need to know more about this feeling? Because it feels like it's holding me, here. Right now, a lot of us are doing a lot of internal work. We're going to be doing internal work for another year and a half, easily. Like shit tons of deep fuck you work. Okay? But you've already been at it for a year and a half in this particular placement. So, you're halfway there. It's not pleasant. It's not meant to be pleasant. What we've been through has not been pleasant. It hasn't been pleasant. We're unwinding what has not been pleasant. And we have to go through all the stupid shit that was done. And we have to go into recognition so that we don't repeat that stupid shit. That's why. That's exactly why. Being upset about circumstances only halts your process. It just stops you. Stops you right there, because it tells you that you're unwilling to go deeper into who you are and why you feel the way that you do. We've been fed so much information throughout our lives, and it is passed down generationally. Okay. Some of that is great information, and some of that is not so great information. A lot of the colonization that's taken place in the world, all right, comes with an inferior, superior aspect to it, because this person looks this way and this person looks this way, right? And that is not a truth. That's not a truth. Yet people like privilege. People love privilege. And privilege doesn't only run through a certain color any longer. It is a practice. It is predominantly a certain color, because that's where it has come from. All right? Yet living in harmony on the world, right? When people are living in lack in their mind and in their heart, that's going to be very difficult. So changing that, that's what we're doing. That's what everybody's doing right now. We're changing our perceptions, like learning that everybody is us. You are me, I am you. So even if you don't agree with everything that I have to say, still, it's you. That's it. We're all one. So understanding that we're all one and really coming into that surrender and knowing that you're in an experience and going through a process is what will help you during this particular process. All right. And I'm talking only spiritually, just spiritually. This isn't like your physical. Your physical self will fall in line if your spirituality is in alignment. Your spirituality is ever evolving. That's your change. Every day is your spirit. That's your change. Your physical appearance doesn't change every day. It might change occasionally in a moment. Like you get a haircut, hair's dyed, shave your mustache, right? You lose weight gradually. You could change your clothes in a lifestyle pattern. That would be different, but not too much, because you're still you. You're still you. That's all external. And the first time I ever heard that wherever you go, there you are, Wherever you go, there you are. I was like blown away because it wasn't something that I had ever realized. And I have a lot of common sense, but I'd never really thought of it that way. No matter how far I could travel away from a problem, I found out that I was involved in it because it was my problem. It was mine to solve. Okay. What we're learning from society is that quick fixes are not what get us spiritually fed. Quick fixes get us blockages because then we damn ourselves for doing the quick fix. We disconnect from giving ourselves permission to be our authentic self. Then we try to make it up by what we've been told is a role that we should follow. If you're a woman, this is like what you're expected to do. And if you're a man, this is what you're expected to do. And there's no room in a colonial society for anything other than that. That's why it doesn't work, because it doesn't express all of us. It's not a humanity aspect. It's not for humanity. It's for the few. And that's why it feels like privilege, because it's built that way. It's built that way in many ways. Even in AI right now, AI is still going to take on the way that things are said, and it's building itself so swiftly. All right. So all of the norms that we think are there that sound privileged in aspect, right? Are we noticing those? Right? Are we noticing those? If we go to a store because we're returning something, we see somebody in front of us who is being what 2020 brought about for Karen, right? If we see somebody who's being over the top, right? And over the top is very simple, very simple. If you think that that person on the other side is out to get you in any way, then you're in privilege. That's it. You're in privilege. See, privilege is fear. It's fear. And that's why it doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's just a lot of fear. Fear of the conditioning that you've received throughout your life. If you're a certain color, you received a certain story. Everybody did, no matter what color. And that happened, I don't know when. I don't know when all that started, all the separation, right? I don't know when. Do we? Do we really know when? Probably not. But separation has occurred because we notice duality. We notice duality. If we can come to an understanding where duality hosts oneness, we can see who we are in a better light. We created separation so that we could tell each other apart, so that we could understand behaviors. Yet we don't understand that that's why we did it. We're coming into an age where maybe that will come out. Maybe that will surface, right? To where we understand that in this creation of separation, we're not whole, right? And if we give parts to different people who are on the earth in different colors, right? And we give responsibility that way, it's not necessarily separation if we all work together, right? The first time I was introduced to the medicine wheel was by a friend of mine, Sewa. And Sewa is a beautiful friend. She's just a beautiful friend. And she told me that the wheel has a part for everybody. It represents everybody. And I hadn't known that white people were represented in a native indigenous wheel. I didn't know that. I didn't see how that could possibly be because I was taught separation all my life, without even knowing it. Being taught about my forefathers in this fucking country, shit like that. Just lied to, so that the privilege could be perpetuated, that it could continue, that the American dream could come through. And we're finding that none of us really like that dream. We don't want that American dream. Not really. What we want is a cohesive, loving network of people around us so that we can explore safely our experience. That's what we really want. And we think it costs too much. We think it costs too much. But that's what we're striving for. We're striving for an internal calmness that allows us to be connected to who we authentically are. And we're the only ones that can provide that space. And the easiest way is to start in your mind. To start in your mind and see the way that you talk to yourself. What words am I using? If something goes wrong, right? I had a habit, a really bad habit for a long time. And this is just an easy one that maybe you can relate to. And because I had a lot of self-worth issues, I can see where it came from. So I can tell you that right now. I had abandonment. Abandonment is a really big theme in my whole life. I can see that, like, when things that were good would come toward me, I would push them away. Right now, I'm seeing now that they're reminding me that maybe I'm doing that. So that's kind of cool. That lets me know that it's okay if I just let this goodness come for me. It's fine. Okay. All right. So I would be in a conversation in a group of people, and I like humor. I love humor. And so I would hide behind humor an awful lot, and derogatory humor. I would hide behind derogatory rumor and sarcasm because those are my go-tos when I'm in a witty conversation, right? And I was taught very well. I was groomed very well by my father, who was an English major in college. And I was told throughout my life that if I wanted to have an answer to something, to go look it up. So I'm very book smart as well, extremely smart in that way. And common sense had to come to me because of the lifestyle that I chose. So now I'm well rounded because of the situations I put myself in. So let's get back to the conversations that I used to have. Somebody would be talking about just stuff, right? And maybe your friend goes like this, oh yeah, but Lucy is like, ah, ha, 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 ha. Fuck, right? They'll say that for whatever fucking reason they want to say that. But I'm left with the energetic transfer. Not knowing that at the time, I'm going to create a coping mechanism just like that. One that will surefire shut everybody up. Nobody will ever do that to me again. And it goes something like this. We're all in the same group of friends. And I remember the last time that they said some shit, and I'm feeling the energy head that way again. And they think they're going to dump on me. But guess what? I'm going to dump on me first. Haha. Remember how fucking dumb I am and I did this shit? What am I thinking? What am I thinking in that moment? I'm thinking I want to stay safe. I'm thinking I want to stay safe. And their words hurt me the first time because I didn't know that they were internal, that it was something that they saw that I felt. So I'm going to prevent them from being able to hurt me. First time it's going to be awful when I do it, but it'll be effective. So I'm going to keep going to it. It's going to be something I'm going to do often. And I'm going to do it regularly because it works. It works so well. I don't realize at the time that when I'm doing this, that what's happening is that I am talking to myself in such a detrimental way that I'm starting to believe it. I'm starting to believe that I'm less than. I'm starting to believe that I don't have a place in this conversation. I'm not shoulder to shoulder with these people. And we're all fucking white. We're all fucking white. This is like when I'm a young kid. This is like, I'm in a predominantly white neighborhood. My mom died when I was 5. My dad was a drunk. So it was like, a really interesting upbringing. I probably shouldn't say that. Anyway, I don't want to hurt my kids because they didn't know my dad in that way. That's why I would not want to say that like that. That's the only reason. They do know that he had a problem, but that's fine. Okay. Anyway, clean that up to the best of my ability. But hey, I'm just rolling with the truth right now. It's so much easier. Anyway, growing up in that sort of an environment, right, where you have even a pecking order of peers, right? And that is the conditioning of colonialism. Even in the peer group, there is separation of inferior, superior, even in the peer group, right? Anytime you had friends, three was too many. Three was too many. And why is that? Because everybody's reasoning, oh, well, you're hanging out with that person more than with me, so I must be less than. I don't like that person. So now you're going to cheese me. Lots and lots of bullshit coming out of your mouth about other people. And it's internal because you're hearing all of it. Now you're wondering, am I that? No, I'm not that. Never that. No. And so you build those hard shells. You build those hard shells that welcome to your world. That's where you're at now. Those shells saved you from all of those experiences. So wanting to give them up right away is bullshit. We're not going to do that. We're like, nope, because I can cut a bitch as soon as you come in a room if you say something nasty to me. I'm supposed to be like some spiritual guru. What a bunch of bullshit that is. I am human. I am human. I've had a life. This is life. This is how life works for me. I'm just sharing some platitudes and opinions, right? You make up your life. And that's what I'm trying to let you know about. Anyway, so sometimes spirit talks to me, right? Because like I did that for a really long time. I would be the first one to punch myself so that nobody else could punch me, basically, right? With a word, a phrase, an action, right? It also helped me be over the top. It helped me to look into doing things that were a little bit crazier than like what you would normally do. That was easy for me because it was expected now, because that's how I acted. That was what I set up, right? Because I didn't want limitation. And when you can hit yourself first, you have less limitation because you know where it comes from. And then you tell yourself, I know I'm not that. But you're hosting that charge. You're hosting that charge that's telling your cells, your cellular network, yes, you are. Yes, you are. And that's your duality. That's your duality. And when you allow that, yes, you are that, to come up, and you say, yeah, I am that too. Ooh, yeah, I am that too. Ooh, we're pulling everybody into it. Let's go. Yeah, I am that too. You love you. You love you in that moment because you're learning your capabilities. You're learning you. And you hold that charge, you let that charge just be you. You breathe through that fucking charge. You love you and love you and love you and love you and love you. Love you and love you and love you and love you and love you, even though you don't know what that is in that moment. You love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Love is a vibe. Let that vibe come. Love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. See? Love you. Just keep loving you, loving you, loving you, loving you, loving you. Let it come. Love you. There. Ooh. Breathe. Okay? All right. See, we've all experienced this shit. We've all experienced this. We need to learn to talk to ourselves with love. Lots and lots and lots of love. We don't do that often enough, but we can. We can. We have that capability. We have that beautiful capability of being our most authentic selves in the kindest possible way, with the most compassion. We have access to that. Those are also our capabilities. Remember, duality. So in the deepest, darkest bullshit that you can spout to yourself of another individual, you can do the most brilliant, illuminating, loving conversation about you. All right? Yeah, you could do that. Okay, so let's clean this up. Woo! All right. Okay, so maybe you say something like, that was some stupid shit. and you're distancing yourself from how you used to talk, right? Maybe you used to say it was, man, I was stupid in that. So maybe you're not saying it exactly like that anymore. Maybe you're saying, man, that was some stupid shit. Change the word stupid to silly. Change the word stupid to silly. Just change it. Just change that one word and how you talk to yourself if you use the word stupid. How you talk about others, silly. Just say silly. If you're swearing, this is the best. If you're swearing at an individual or you're mofoing somebody, use the word silly. Only the word silly in your mind. Just the word silly. You silly, 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 silly person. Can't stay mad. Can't stay mad. Easy things. Do easy things for you. So today's word is silly. Use silly. Silly circumstances, silly life. That's just one word. Words that we use that are detrimental are taught to us. They're taught to us for a reason. They are to degrade us, to diminish us, to demean us. They're meant to do that. They have a vibration. Use a different vibe. Use a different vibe. It'll be okay. I love you guys. I hope that today was beneficial. It was beneficial for me. I got to work through a lot of shit with you. I had no idea that's what was going to come up. That was really good. I hope that it helped you guys, and I hope you guys have a really great day. Next Monday, I will be here at 12:30. I think is what the time is, 12:30. And I will, or 12:40. I don't know. Maybe I was right on time. I don't know. I was in the meditation for a long time. It was good. And before this, I have a meditation that's free, and it is an energy adjustment, an energy shift. All right. And it's beautiful because it allows you to let go of things that you're holding on to that don't necessarily serve you. Those big high charges, like the one that we just worked through, right? Okay. So for the next maybe week, you'll be unpacking that. All right. You're unpacking it, and you'll see things that you do to yourself that maybe you don't want to practice anymore, and giving yourself a little bit of time and allowing you to breathe through the circumstance and be enough, and just show yourself that you're showing up. You keep showing up. You keep showing up. You don't have to stay in your shadow. You have to understand your shadow. You have to understand that's where your capabilities are. You have to understand how mean you can be, how ugly you can be, how ruthless you are, in order to understand how successful, loving, and enough you are. So you don't stay in the story of detriment. You understand it. You understand that that's possible, that you're capable of accomplishing that. You can look to see like where you've had that devastation in your mind, in your heart, in your body. You can work through it by recognizing it and illuminating it and becoming it, allowing yourself to know that, yeah, that's me. It's okay to be me. I'll be all right. I'm going to survive it. I'm going to survive being me. And you just keep being you in the silliest way you can. I love you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.